Hello everyone, I'm Colette and I'm here today from Witch Ways. I want to talk about a very simple to make sun-based wine cordial that you can use as an offering, or you can enhance your spell work with it. It brings the power of the sun and resilience and growth into any spell that you do, especially in the upper half of the year from about spring equinox to about fall. And it also is very helpful with any magic that you want to call on the power of resilience, renewal, or joy. And I use it primarily as an offering, but it can also just sit on a spell plate. And this offering blend was part of a free spell that I posted to the public on my Patreon page for my April spell of the month. I thought it might be fun to just go a little deeper into why I use the ingredients I did, how they work, what they're good for, what their properties are, and what they contribute to the spell overall. You can start by clearing and centering if that's part of your practice, and lighting a yellow or a white candle. This could be a small candle, like a tea light is probably ideal because you're really only going to need that candle while you're doing the preparation of this potion blend. I started with 2 cups of white wine, and I wanted white wine because I wanted something that felt just kind of light and clear and refreshing for the upper half of the year, and also something that felt refreshing because of the kind of magic I wanted it to be for. Alcohol is also a preservative and it is attractive to spirits, but you can use any kind of alcohol you want. You can even just use rainwater or tap water instead. If you use just water, you want to make a small amount of this blend and then just refrigerate it after straining, and it'll last for several days, but you need to use it quick if it's water-based. I specifically picked a German wine because I was invoking Yastra or Ostara for this particular spell that I was doing, and Yastra is an Anglo-Saxon and West German goddess associated with the month of April and the dawn. And then I like to add just a tiny bit of rainwater, like a spoonful of rainwater, to this potion because that represents the spring, which is when I started this particular offering blend. And it also represents to me how welcome rainwater is throughout the dry summer months when I will be using this offering blend. And if I was going to make just enough of this blend for one-time use, I would probably go 50-50, at 50% rainwater or tap water and 50% white wine. It doesn't keep as well, but energetically it's really, really nice. And if I do want to make enough to keep it for the full summer, as I said, I probably will just add a few drops of rainwater so that it doesn't go bad. Then I pour the liquid into a clean jar that has a tight sealing lid. And the next ingredient that I add is honey. I add about 1/4 cup of it, and I add the honey just to sweeten the blend, make it attractive to spirits, to help preserve the blend a little bit more, and to help ease the transition magically from the depths of winter up into this upper half of the year of summer. For me, the color of honey also magically aligns with the feeling of the magic I'm going to use it with and of summertime. Honey also calls on the power of the bees, which become more active in the upper half of the year. And bees can also be called on to take your magic where it needs to go, so it's great to have a little bit of it in an offering blend. And of course, if you don't have any honey, you can leave it out altogether. Next, I added the juice of about 2 lemons, and I added lemons because of their sunny color, their physical ability to balance and support some of the body's systems as we move out of winter, and their scent, which also helps to freshen up the energy as we move from winter into summer. Then I stir it all together until the liquid is all completely mixed. And the next thing that I did is I added some dandelion flowers. For this amount of liquid, I would probably pick 8 to 12 flowers. You don't want too many or else they will make it really bitter, but you do want an amount that is dividable by the number 2. And that's because when I was listening intuitively to put this spell together, I got this message that the whole spell and this offering needed to be based on the power of 2. And for me, what I discovered was that this number 2 represents the balance between summer and winter, and also the power of the fluctuating weather that happens at that crossroads when we enter from winter into summer. You should pick the dandelion flowers at midday when they're fully open. Pick them on a sunny day if you can. And as I was considering what plant I wanted, I decided on dandelions as the plant base for this offering. Number 1, because they're associated with the sun, and I wanted this to be a summer spell. They are often used as a tonic for the transition point between winter and summer. They are strongly resilient. The roots can go down many feet into the soil. They are survivors. They survive everything that we try to do to eradicate them. And they are beautiful and amazing, and you can find them everywhere. Before you put your dandelion flowers in with the other ingredients, you should gently wash them and pat them dry. Then place them in the jar with everything else. And at this point, I would charge the blend. And you can do that by putting the lid on it and shaking it and speaking an intention like spring, resilience, renewal, or just asking that it be delightful to the spirits that you work with as you create magic throughout the summer months. You can whisper this. You can speak it aloud, you can sing it, whatever works for you. You can even write that intention down on a piece of paper and slip it under the jar. So you're going to take everything outside, but leave your candle burning indoors, because if you take it outdoors, the wind is probably just going to blow it out. So what I do is take the jar with everything in it and the lid on it tightly, leave it outside in a sunny spot if I can for at least 2 hours. If I can't do that, I put it in a bright window. It doesn't have to be your own backyard. It can be a park where you're going to go and sit for a few hours. Then once that's happened, bring it home or bring it indoors and strain the flowers out. At that point, I like to taste it and maybe add some more lemon or honey or wine, depending on what it tastes like to me and what I think the magic might want it to taste like. And I just use my intuition for that. I figure if it tastes right to me, it's going to be right for the magic. And I do this even though I'm using it as an offering cordial. It's not something that I'm personally going to drink. So then to use it as an offering, pour it into a clear chalice or wine glass. And if you can, then you can just top it off with 2 fresh dandelions right on the top and use it with any summertime spell working or as an offering. I also prefer to refrigerate potions that I've made with a wine base because they don't keep quite as well as things that are based on brandy or vodka or other alcohols. And in storing it, use your common sense. If it starts to look cloudy or moldy, even if you're not going to drink it and you're just using it as an offering, I wouldn't do it. You can then just offer it back to the earth. And this whole spell is just kind of an example of the way that when I create spells, I work really intuitively, and I like to listen and just try and get some information about what needs to go in the spell and why. And then I combine that with the knowledge and my common sense. This cordial, liqueur, brew, potion, offering blend is just one piece of the renewal spell that I posted on Patreon for April. And the entire spell is available as a downloadable digital file. It's open to the public. I'll put a link in the description. And thank you everyone for liking, subscribing, and feeding those algorithm gods. It helps so much. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and be well.